I get up here?
Hi everybody, movie I want to talk about today, Sherlock Holmes, Faces of Fear. From 1945, it is the 10th Nigel Bruce, Basil Rathbone Sherlock Holmes movie. Basil Rathbone as Sherlock Holmes and Nigel Bruce as Dr. Watson. And Dr. Watson, Nigel Bruce as Dr. Watson is this, he's not like the book character. He's this very kind of affable, kind of slow-witted fella who mumbles a lot to himself.
Where are you? You, Holmes, of course. Who? Oh.
It does get kind of annoying, but the two of them make a really good pair, and they made over 10 of these movies, so it worked.
I say, old fellow, what about giving me a hand? You're doing splendidly, Watson.
First movie they made was The Hound of the Baskervilles, and they made 2 films for Fox, and then Universal bought the rights to the movies, and the 2 actors went over and continued the series. So budgets kind of went down a little bit once Fox got hold of them, and some sets were reused, which if you watch the series you can kind of see things. And there is actually a fun kind of a Easter egg almost in the movie. Probably unintentional. Maybe it wasn't unintentional. In the background of one of the scenes, there's the cane from the Wolfman.
Werewolf? What's that?
Larry Talbot's silver wolf cane is in the background propped against the wall in one of the scenes. So do the main character know the Talbots? This movie takes place in Scotland, and the Wolfman takes place in the moors. Some are southerner and more south in England. But it's a weird coincidence. Maybe it's in the same timeline. What the movie is, this group of fellows, they're best friends, and they go off and they live in this seaside, cliffside mansion house in Scotland, and they decide to live together to share rent, I guess, I don't know. And somebody is sending these fellows letters with orange pips in them.
This time, you may be sure there was no laughter. These men were afraid, and their fear was justified.
And as soon as that person that gets the envelope, they die in some horrible fashion. And they must spend a big budget of their fortune on drinking glasses, because they do this every time somebody dies. Soon after. So one person gets crushed to death. Sherlock Holmes gets to the mansion. The third guy that is dead is burned to a crisp in the furnace. That's a hell of a way to go. Another person is crushed. Another person is dismembered. So he's just a torso. None of this is seen on screen, of course, because it's 1940s. And there are worse things happening overseas that people are seeing. Domestic audiences don't need to see that. It's more in the mind than visual. So the horrible things are happening to these guys, and they're like, Sherlock Holmes, can you help solve who's killing us? And the whole kind of gist of it is, person that dies, the survivors get insurance policy added to that person's money, added to their pot. So it's £100,000 of money that is total, that these guys, 7 people, have pooled together, kind of, and the last person living will get all that money. And the insurance company is like, something's not quite right here.
Wait a minute. There's something wrong here.
So Sherlock goes off to Scotland with Dr. Watson, and they meet all the cast of characters.
Oh, yes, yes, very good.
And it gets a little bit, like I say, a little bit convoluted.
Instead of too few, we have too many clues and too many suspects.
A little bit confusing.
There's intelligence behind this business, Watson. Cold, calculating, ruthless intelligence.
The one character that gets me, cracks me up all the time in this film is Inspector Lestrade.
Yeah, what's going on here? Someone just tried to kill Dr. Watson. Blimey, you.
And his reactions to everything that's going on once he shows up halfway through the film. And Lestrade, every time something happens, he shows up. What's going on here?
Won't someone please tell me what's going on here?
It's like that.
How did I get up here? Suffering cats, what is going on here?
And the other character that gets me is a character called Alistair, who is the owner of the mansion and also one of the beneficiaries of, the money. So he's a suspect. But this character is blissfully unaware of everything that's going on around him, it seems. He's just la-di-da, la-la-di-da. People are dying left and right around him. He's like, oh, that's nice. Oh, dear.
I went down to the kitchen, and I had such a nice glass of milk.
Milk?
He has one line that really cracks me up at the end of the film.
What are you doing here? I don't like to be alone.
But, like I say, it's a fun show. For its budget, I'm sure it wasn't a large budget, but they do a lot.
Money. Here, no more tricks like that. If it hadn't been for the sharp eyes of Mr. Holmes here, you might have shot someone.
They have a good set, really good production design. Sound quality is great.
You're moving. I warned you. Done for you, all right. 1, 2. Fine. All in the line of duty. Who's that? Watson, what on earth are you up to?
There was a restoration on this film that TCM and a couple other studios or groups did, and they did a fantastic job. It's clear, picture is clear, sound is clear, sets are great, characters are average kind of, but they're memorable. Good character actors playing everybody, and it's just a fun whodunit. It's only an hour or so long. It's just over an hour. Fun whodunit mystery. Give it a look. It's really quite fun. And